tonight's video, we're going to be talking about over-the-counter medications and prescription drugs, how they all have side effects. And I'm going to be talking to you about some of the side effects that I've gone through taking medications. Hello everybody, it's Mike, the Baldadonis. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Mike the Baldadonis, and I talk about many different topics. Sharing life experiences one video at a time is my motto. I talk about being in my early 20s, doing 5 years and 3 months in prison for a first-time drug offense. Only to get out unhappy with my body, I decided to do steroids, gain 105 pounds of pure muscle, only to have a heart attack and other steroid-related health issues. I currently deal with migraines and vertigo due to today's environmental pollution, today's foods, and VOCs. I have conspiracy theories with Gary from the gym. I have Dr. Peter Percuoco. He is my mentor, the reason why I'm on YouTube, and he talks about inspiration. I buy and sell cars as a hobby, and I bring you guys along with me, showing you the pros and cons of each vehicle that I buy. And I also bring other people on board, sharing their interesting life stories as well. Today, I'm going to bring back an older video that I did with Dr. Peter Percuoco. We were talking about medications and all the side effects that go along with that. He actually breaks down the medications and how they affect your body. Being a neurologist, he has all the information on how that works. So in a few minutes, we're going to get to that. But right now, I'm going to tell you how some of these medications gave me side effects. And so 7 years ago, the doctors suggested I'll take over-the-counter medications with my dizziness. And one of them was Benadryl. After taking 2 Benadryls a day for a few months, my side effect was forgetfulness. I would sit at the refrigerator not knowing why I'm there, go to a store, not know why I'm there, and that got really scary. And after seeing other doctors, I saw a neurologist, and he decided to put me on amitriptyline. That is a bad drug right there. It's just loaded with side effects. But the one that caused me the most was stroke-like conditions. Rushing to the hospital at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, having stroke-like conditions is not fun. So I got off that medications, and the doctor gave me Topamax. Topamax gave me suicidal thoughts. So I was done taking medications, and I really despised pharmaceuticals for just making anything for whatever reason they want, just to get you hooked on it. And the doctors are no better. Some doctors are responsible, but at the same time, you know, you're the one that's paying the price of taking these medications. And I just want you to open up your eyes a little bit and do your homework on these medications that doctors prescribe you. Should you be even on medications? Do you just need a change of diet? You know, so if you're looking at these medications for whatever reason, and over-the-counter drugs like Tylenol and everything else, everything has a side effect. Do your research. Weight gain. A lot of people don't know why all of a sudden they have all this extra weight gain, and it's medications. You know, so medications just ruin your life pretty much. There's a place and time for certain drugs, absolutely. But then you find yourself, you're able to get off of them, and hopefully whatever situation that you're in, you got better and you're doing well. But for the most part, these medications it's all for money. You know, the United States is the biggest drug dealer through their pharmacies and the doctors and the big pharmaceuticals. So, you know, they get you by with the advertisements to allure you into getting medications. So I'm going to show you 2 commercials, and just listen to what these commercials actually detail in side effects. Okay, for the first one, it's Chantix, and that's for quitting smoking.
Smoking with Chantix and support. Talk to your doctor about Chantix and a support plan that's right for you. Some people have had changes in behavior, hostility, agitation, depressed mood, and suicidal thoughts or actions while taking or after stopping Chantix. If you notice agitation, hostility, depression, or changes in behavior, thinking, or mood that are not typical for you, or if you develop suicidal thoughts or actions, stop taking Chantix and call your doctor right away. Talk to your doctor about any history of depression or other mental health problems, which can get worse while taking Chantix. Some people can have allergic or serious skin reactions to Chantix, some of which can be life-threatening. If you notice swelling of face, mouth, throat, or a rash, stop taking Chantix and see your doctor right away. Tell your doctor which medicines you're taking, as they may work differently when you quit smoking. Chantix dosing may be different if you have kidney problems. The most common side effect is nausea. Patients also reported trouble sleeping and vivid, unusual, or strange dreams. Until you know how Chantix may affect you, use caution when driving or operating machinery. Chantix should not be taken with other quit smoking products.
The second commercial is Balsama, and it's supposed to help you with your insomnia. So let's look at that.
When you have insomnia, it may affect the wake neurotransmitters in your brain, disrupting your wake and sleep messages. Balsamra is a prescription medicine for adults who have trouble falling or staying asleep. Balsamra is thought to help turn down wake messages by targeting and inhibiting the action of orexin, a neurotransmitter that plays a central role in sending wake messages. Only Balsamra works this way.
Do not take Balsamra if you have narcolepsy. When taking Balsamra, don't drive or operate heavy machinery until you feel fully awake. Walking, eating, driving, or engaging in other activities while asleep without remembering it the next day have been reported. Balsamra should not be taken together with alcohol. Abnormal behaviors may include aggressiveness, confusion, agitation, or hallucinations. The temporary inability to move while falling asleep or waking up and temporary leg weakness have also been reported. In depressed patients, worsening depression, including risk of suicide, may occur. Alcohol may increase these risks. Side effects include next-day drowsiness.
So my neurologist, after telling him I'm not doing any of these medications anymore, said, oh, just keep continuing your Migra Ease. It's all natural product along with your magnesium glycinate. I'm like, well, why didn't you just tell me that in the first place? Because they got to make money. Simple as that.
Hey, one of the biggest topics today that Mike wanted to address, and I think I will too with you, okay? It's about over-the-counter medication and what it does to your body in relationship to pain inhibition. So if you're in some pain, you take some medication, you feel better. You get kind of duped into the fact that, you know what, I can always count on my over-the-counter Tylenol to get rid of my headache, to get rid of my back pain. So I do that. And then I ask my patients, how often do you do that? Well, you know, every day I take 2 in the morning, 2 at night. And this is what they do. And they set themselves up for some serious problems by taking this medication like crazy. So I want to tell you something kind of cool. I'm going to give you a little bit of like a biochemical profile. I'm going to bring you back to school. And if you never had any biochemistry, hang in there with me, because all of this is very, very important. And some of the words that I use might sound like they're really over the edge, but that's how the world, at least the scientists, talk about it. You might as well learn our terminology if you're going to make better choices for yourself. So I want you to think of this. Let's say that you have a bad back and you have a lot of pain. So in order to create chemicals that make pain, your body has to go through a certain process. So let's talk about a simple process. All right, so I'm going to show you this. I'm going to call this 1, 2, and 3. Our bodies are built to have 3 different biochemical pathways that produce chemistry. These are called prostaglandin pathways, because prostaglandins are certain glandins. They're certain proteins that are created inside of our body in reaction to stuff going on. So the 3 pathways of integration associated with the production of prostaglandins. Oh my God, you've already lost me, doctor. Please hang in there. It's going to get better in a second. I'm going to take and get rid of this, and I'm going to knock out all 3 and just talk a lot about the second pathway. So this is kind of cool. When your body takes bad food, for instance, you went to a restaurant and ate crappy food over at Applebee's. It's all made of this omega-6 essential fat. It's fat within fast foods. That stuff is nasty. Ultimately, I'm going to put down as fast food, FF, okay? Because I don't want to go too much into that chemistry. Then the fast food's going to produce something called a COX-2 enzyme. Didn't think you were going to learn chemistry today, but you are. A COX-2 enzyme, the name of COX-2 is called cyclooxygenase 2 enzyme. And if you create this, you will also create the next step, which is AA, and that's not for Alcoholics Anonymous, that's for arachidonic acid. Now, us as scientists, we know when we hear these two terms, COX-2 and arachidonic acid, we know what's coming next. It's pain chemicals. Now, if you have been somebody who went to Harvard and it's been a long time since you studied the chemistry, then you'll know this as PGE2, prostaglandin E2. If you watch enough TV, you see that they always say about leukotrienes when they're talking about allergic sensitivities. You probably would know a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you right now, but let's just remember this. We want to focus on the fact that inside of your body, when your back hurts, you're producing COX-2 enzymes. Arachidonic acid is the next thing, and you produce the pain chemical. So you decide to take Advil, ibuprofen, something over the counter. What do those medications really do? What they really do is they go up here to the COX-2 enzyme and they inhibit it. They cause the inhibition of the production of COX-2 enzyme. That means the arachidonic acid production goes down. That means the pain chemistry diminishes, and you suffer less. And this sounds pretty good, it's like, hey, I like this. I'm not feeling pain because I'm on my Advil. Unfortunately, you haven't fixed anything about your body, so you're going to keep creating the internal effect, which makes this stay on. You shut it off, it turns back on. You shut it off, it turns back on. It's a never-ending cycle. It continues to go on. How long will you do this? Well, you'll do it as long as you can until you absolutely blow the tissue to holy hell. Now you need a surgeon to come in and fix it, or you need some major overhaul in your whole body to fix the damn thing. Don't let this teeter along. So I want to tell you something else. This is the this is the second prostaglandin pathway that the over-the-counter medication that you're taking is helping to fix. But I don't know if you remember this, but there used to be these commercials on the on television, and it was for these two chemicals, these two pharmaceuticals. One was called Vioxx, and the other one was called Celebrex. And scientists call them coxibs. So you have, this one was rofecoxib, and this one, that one's rofecoxib, celecoxib. But they hire a company to come up with cool names. $100,000 to name the damn thing. Seriously? You could buy a nice condo for $100,000. You're gonna name a friggin' thing after it. Okay, so the Celebrex and the Vioxx, what they did was they were so much stronger than your over-the-counter medications, because the over-the-counter medications could knock this COX enzyme down by a certain percentage. Now, I don't remember what that percentage is. That's why it doesn't work like these drugs do. These are prescribed drugs. So these drugs were able to reduce the production of COX-2 and arachidonic acid by greater than 95%. Wow, that sounds unbelievable. Doc, sign me up for that. If you can knock this out, I'm happy as hell. Careful. These COX enzymes, they do more than simply produce pain chemistry. They affect your heart. So let me show you what happens. Let's go over to the first pathway, which we didn't talk about yet. That pathway controls chemicals that affect your heart. So, if you get down to the brass tacks, the two chemicals that come out of this first pathway, one is called thromboxane. Holy crap, doctor. Sorry, I don't make it up. It just is what it is. Thromboxane and prostacyclin. Okay, now, prostacyclin and thromboxane, they have very specific effects. What the heck does the COX-2 enzyme have to do with them? COX-2 enzymes, they actually they stimulate the production of prostacyclin. Okay, what the hell does that mean? Oh, prostacyclin dilates your blood vessels and draws blood to whatever you need it to go to. We need prostacyclin to dilate the blood vessels around your heart more than anything else. So, if we were to knock out COX enzyme with these drugs, over the counter, or more specifically with these drugs here, these prescribed pills, they're going to remove the COX enzyme. You ain't got a lot of pain. Yay. Unfortunately, it's going to go down here, and you're going to lose the control of prostacyclin, and it's no longer being stimulated. So prostacyclin cannot dilate the blood vessels around your heart. So what's left? Thromboxane. Thromboxane, well, what does that do? The opposite. It actually constricts the blood vessels around the heart and tightens them up. And now what happens? Holy moly, man. Now your heart is dealing with constrictive effects, and you could have a heart attack from this or a stroke. Well, did this ever happen, Doc? Yes, it did. How come? Because the companies that produce Vioxx and Celebrex, they told the feds, well, you know, we don't have the cardiovascular controls or trials just yet, but don't worry, they'll be fine. We'll give it to you in a couple of months. And the FDA said, okay, everything else looks good, then let's go with it. Well, something went wrong, of course, as it usually does, because what they didn't do is they didn't explore this pathway very well. They didn't realize that when they knocked out the COX-2 enzyme, that they were going to knock out your ability to produce prostacyclin, and you can't dilate your blood vessels, so they'll constrict. How many people were affected by this? They tell us it's greater than 160,000 people either had heart attack or stroke from messing around with these drugs, which affected pathways over here. If you didn't know this pathway existed, that COX-2 enzymes also control the blood gases that are able to control dilation or constriction of the vessels around the heart, hey, everything looks great. Until you'll see all these people getting maimed and dying. It's like, what the hell's going on? Then the trials come through and they went, oh my God, we've been killing people. Yes, of course we have. But guess what? This is what really should piss you off, because it pisses me off. They go back to the company, to Vioxx. I think it's Merck. Merck was them. And they fine them billions of dollars. I think it was like greater than $5 billion. They fine them. And you know what Merck says? What do we care? We just made $15 billion. But you killed people, for Christ's sake. You freaking kill people. And they didn't know, they didn't understand. They didn't care. It came down to dollars and cents. 15 billion? Okay, so I got to pay 5 billion back? What, babe? I'm still 10 billion up. Yeah, but these people lost their lives because of it. That sucks. It sucks bad. So I want you to know this, that when you're taking over-the-counter medication, what you're taking is a COX-2 inhibitor. You're trying to reduce the chemical that produces the ultimate pain chemistry. But it only lasts for a number of hours, right? And then you got to take some more. And then you got to take some more a few hours later because it keeps being broken down by the liver. Now, there is I want to talk about something simple. You guys know this one? Tylenol? Yeah, I take Tylenol. Ooh, Tylenol's bad. And then you have, what's the other one?
Advil?
No, not Advil. The Naproxen one. Aleve. Okay. I got to tell you this. This is really funny. Talk about toxicities. By the way, every time you take these drugs and you try to inhibit the COX-2 inhibitor, you're messing around with the genes. You're trying to slow down the production of a specific enzyme. You already know it. COX-2. You're trying to slow it down. How do you inhibit a COX-2 enzyme? You reroute the genetics. So the medication affects the genes. So now, Aleve and Tylenol have been a long-term battle with each other. How many Aleve does it take to be better during a day? Don't they tout this all the time? Just one little Aleve does a nice job. One little Aleve, hey, one little Aleve. And how many of these? Well, how about 8 of these per day? So which one you want to take, 1 or 8? What do I want to take? Neither, because I don't take anything for pain. Nothing. I just grin and bear it. Pain is a signal that says, hey, doc, something's wrong. You better get back to fixing the problem. Don't try to shut me off. So Tylenol and Aleve are battling it out. Tylenol says, you kidding me? One of your drugs is so goddamn toxic that you can only take 1 every 12 hours. That's why. Then you go over here and Tylenol from these guys are like, well, you guys suck because you got to take 8 of those and people don't want to take them. Yeah, but you're toxic. No, you're toxic. You're toxic. They're both toxic, fellas. They're toxic chemicals. Should you take them? Okay. The answer is sparingly. Understand? If you hurt yourself, you fell down, you hurt your knee, you got a back problem, your neck is bothering you, you got to give a presentation at work, you need to take your kids to the ball game and you're in pain. I understand. You take a little over-the-counter med, it'll go into your belly, and what's it going to do? It's going to affect your DNA to slow down the production of the cyclooxygenase 2 enzyme, COX-2. It'll reduce your pain. I feel good. For how long? 4 hours. Now what? I need more. How come? Because it wore off. So you got to take more and take more and take more. You need to be careful though, because your stomach is going to become damaged from that chemistry. And that causes a term that we know as this. We call it gastropathy. And anything opathy means bad, like a pathology. Gastropathy means that your stomach is getting its ass whipped from the over-the-counter medication that you keep taking. Now you have internal bleeding in your stomach, which is mild at first, but it causes digestive problems, and now you can't digest your food and make energy. So you're tired, and you're fatigued, and it messes up your liver, which screws up your thyroid just a little bit. You go to your doctor, they run a thyroid panel, they put you on pills for thyroid problems when that ain't the problem. You're taking over-the-counter medication for something else that's hurting. You have to really use your head when you take over-the-counter pain medication. Take it transiently, meaning only a little bit at a time, knowing that that which causes your pain, you're gonna fix it. You're gonna make it better. If you make a trip to the chiropractic neurologist, I will show you how you've damaged your system and look at as many factors as I can to help you to improve the quality of your healing response without using medication. Medication creates this, iatrogenesis, and genesis means the creation of. You're creating damage in your body from medication. This is a real deal. Let's take the least amount of medication possible and then try to maximize who we are as people in order to excite our healing process. If we can do that, then we can take less meds. I know there's a world for medication. Trust me, I get kidney stones once in a while, so I understand the value of a good pain inhibitor when you're really, really dying of pain. I get it. But ultimately, take less and less over-the-counter meds and go find somebody that can help you to understand what your true problem is so you can improve the quality of your life so you can get a long life going. I'm telling you, you take more of this medication and you screw up more of your DNA, you're gonna screw up your internal system, which is likely to start the production of a disorder called autoimmune disorder. I'm not going to talk about it today, but the Baldadonis is going to have me on another day, and I'm going to tell you about autoimmune conditions. Most of these are created by what we ingest. And for my passion, it's also accelerated on how we think. So thinking and digestion are either going to make you great or they're going to make you suck. Ultimately, just be smart. Listen to your body and recognize the way to health is not through chemistry. The way through health is all the things that Grandma told you. Good sleep, great sex, good food, lots of exercise, a lot of water and hydration. And when you have to suffer in a way that you get a social network to help you, to support you through that so you can get through it. Once you're on the other side of that, then you can start the growth process all over again. Mikey.
Guys, do you see why I come here every other Wednesday? Do you see why I set up my own YouTube channel? It's all because of this guy. Motivation got me going. And I love learning from this person. He is my mentor. He is a doctor. More important, he's now my friend. So we have your own YouTube channel, correct?
Yes, I do. My YouTube channel is, if you look me up and you want to see any of the stuff I've done, I have a Dr. P TV, and the other thing I do is a Monday morning moment where I give you a couple minutes of things to think about. Things like this, some spiritual stuff, some motivational things, some stuff to kind of move you along a little bit. And you can find me on Dr. Percuoco, YouTube. Just look up Dr. Percuoco and you can find my stuff in there as well.
Yeah, we'll link.
We'll put a link at the end if you want to just check out. I'm going to do the same with Mike. I really enjoy hanging out with Mike. We've really become great friends, and yet we've found ways and commonalities to try to help our audience. I think that's important.
Right. So, guys, on that note, Baldadonis out.
See you guys.